Pesachim Daf Nun Beis. Today's email comes from Michael Cash. He says he lives now in London. He came many years ago from Baghdad. First off, I want to thank you for all your efforts in making the daily shiurim so engaging and fun. I watch your shiurim on YouTube in the evenings on a daily basis, and it's become my daily addiction to the stress after a pressured long day's work. I love the sense of humor and the banter that you bring to your daily shiurim. I'm Sephardi. I live now in London. I came to know about MDY by passing. I have attempted to study Gemara before, but somehow never made it to finish the whole Masechta. Be'ezras Hashem, Pesachim will be my first to make a siyuman. Be'ezras Hashem. I would have loved to have been there from the start had I known about MDY. Nevertheless, even though I've missed Bracha, Shabbos, and Erevin, I'm trying to catch up whenever possible. I've caught up on 12 Daf, etc. Hatzlacha G'dayla Michael. Thanks for the email. So, familiar halachas. If someone comes, let's say from Eretz Yisrael, where they only keep one day Yontif, to Chutz La'aretz, where they keep 2 days Yontif, says Ramami, if you're in front of other people, before Hesia, you have to keep 2 days. And if you're in a desolate place, you keep 1 day. The Gemara says a very scary story. Rav Nachman bar Asya, instead of keeping 2 days, he walked on the second day out of the Tchum, which is this the Rabbanan. Rav Yosef gave him Cherim. Says Abaye, why don't you give him Malchus? 2 pshatim in the Gemara. Either Rav Yosef told him, I gave him the harsher of the 2, which is Cherim. In fact, when a Talmud goes off the derech, they don't give him Cherim. That's too harsh to give. It's not covered at Torah. The second shot is, in fact, I gave him Malchus, and I didn't want to give him the harsh one because he's a Talmud Chacham. So we learned in the Mishnah the concept of biur, and that is on Shemitah, the 7th year, we look at the field and we see if there are no fruits in the field and the animals are not eating the fruits, then the fruits in your home have to be mevur. You have to be mevar those fruit. What does that mean? Whether you take it outside and you mafkir it, or whether you literally have to destroy the fruit. Rabbi Yehuda is l'chumra in the Mishnah, and that is, according to everybody, if somebody brings fruit from where he's at to a place that has no fruit, then we give the chumrah of the place that he came to and the place that he left, and therefore he has to do biur on the fruit. Rav Sheisha says that we're talking about he came from a place that has plenty of fruit, and he went to a place that has plenty of fruit. What happened was that the place that he left from, all the fruit was depleted. So according to the Tanakama, you have to do biur, and according to Rabbi Yehuda, you don't do biur. But what happens is that this means that Rabbi Yehuda is the mekel, and we have a tradition that in this particular case, Rabbi Yehuda is the machmir. So Abaye says, no, what happened was, he came from a place that has plenty of fruit, and he went to a place that has no fruit. All the fruit is depleted. And then he went back to the original place that has fruit. So Tanakam says, it's as if nothing happened. He left from a place that has plenty of fruit. He came back to the place that has plenty of fruit. He has all his fruit with him. You don't have to do biur. Rabbi Yehuda says you have to do biur. So the Gemara says, why? Is it the donkey that causes the biur just because he put it on a donkey? The Gemara says perhaps it's dependent on the different machlekes completely. If a person has 3 different types of vegetables in a barrel, let's call them pickles, dills, and garlic, and each one has a different zman biur, they're depleted from the field at different times. 3-way machlekes. According to Eliezer, they're all considered one fruit because they're all in it together, and therefore, if one is depleted from the field, you must destroy all 3. According to Rabbi Yeshua, and that's how the Tanakama is going to hold, he actually learns from a pasuk, since the pickle, let's say, has the flavor of the garlic and the dill, so as long as 1 or 2 of them are still in the field, then the pickle is also considered in the field, even though he himself is depleted from the field. They're all considered around, and therefore you could keep it all the way to the end. And Rabbi Gamliel says, and that's how Rabbi Yehuda is going to hold, that each and every vegetable is independent. So if the cucumbers are depleted, get rid of the cucumbers. The dill is depleted, get rid of the dill. Or Ravina says it's dependent on a different machlekes. You could eat dates when you live in Yehuda and Eretz Yisrael until the dates are depleted from soyar. So Rabbi Yehuda is going to hold the Gamliel that dates that are stuck in the thorns, you can't rely on them. They're not considered dates because the animals can't get to it. Whereas the Tanakhama is going to say you don't have to be mevar the dates yet because you still have dates in a certain place. So too by us. The Gemara tells us that Eretz Yisrael is divided into 3 sections, 3 cities. You have Galil, Ever Yarden, and Yehuda. And each section has 3 sections to it, and they're all called the same thing. You have Har, Emek, and Shvela, the mountain, the valley, and the plains. According to Rashi, those 3 sections don't make a difference. But the point is that if there's still fruit in one part of, let's say, Yehuda, then the entire Yehuda could eat from that fruit. But Galil cannot depend on Yehuda, and vice versa. And we learn that from a pasuk that says that until the fruit is depleted from the animals. Now we know that the animals don't migrate from Yehuda to Galil and from Galil to Yehuda or from Galil to Eber Yarden to find food. So therefore, each section is independent of its own. Fruit that left Eretz Yisrael, where do you do beer when the Zaman beer comes? Machlekes. According to Reb Shimon ben Elazar, you must take the fruit all the way back to Eretz Yisrael and do beer. The Gemara tells us a story. Rav Safra went out of Eretz Yisrael with wine. Taisa says it might have been a mistake, or maybe he was trying to sell it. And he had with him two other Talmidim of the Rebbe Rebavo, Rav Kahana and Rav Huna, and he asked them, what did Rebavo, our Rebbe, say? Do we pass like Reb Shimon ben Elazar that have to go all the way back to Eretz Yisrael? Rav Kahana said, yes, indeed. And Rav Huna said no. And he said, I rely on Rav Huna because Rav Huna heard every single halacha from Rebavo twice, and he was very medayik, like Rachva, who's medayik in the words of his Rebbe, and his Rebbe said stav instead of the word itztaba, he repeated it exactly like his Rebbe. Rav Yosef said on this, it says in the pasuk, Ami be'etzo yishal umakloi yagidloi. It's a play on words. Makloi is a stick, but he said, Makel, the one who's more likula, yagidloi, he's going to win. We're going to accept his words. The Gemara tells Rabbi Loi, cut a palm tree. And the Gemara says, how could you cut a palm tree with fruit on it? On Shemitah, it says, La'achlo, you must eat everything. You can't destroy it. The Gemara tells us at the end, it's because it was a male tree and the fruit never grow too much. But not because the fruit were so small, they're not considered fruit, because we see that according to Rabbanan, when it comes to grapes, small is considered fruit. And in other trees, like a palm tree, according to everybody, once the fruit comes out, that's considered a tree that you're not allowed to cut down. Have a wonderful day.